Okay, so the title of this chapter is Back to Normalcy. So he wondered, I considered, the character that is depicted here is my character. Could I need to reveal my character later? Probably. Alright, because I made one also for myself. So let me begin. Children, this is a little bit long. So I'm telling you.
How long? So they
I'll make it as interesting as I can.
I just want to say I'm not making video because I have no data for you.
Okay.
Devin, you don't have memory, put it back.
Alright, the title is Back to Normalcy. He wondered if going back to teaching was a good idea after everything that happened. His identity, their identity, wasn't really some dirty secret like most of the so-called heroes. He still refused to say superheroes. Reluctant, he still considered the current events as a glitch. His science, his mind, no matter how real the things he saw, the things he did, stubbornly tells him it was all glitch. Everything was a glitch. For some reasons, he wanted to go back to teaching because for him this was his comfort zone, the world he knew for nearly 2 decades. He marched through the halls of the university to Weber Hall. To his students, it was room 519. So you can see the parlance of the elements, 519. You know what 519 is here, right? In the village, right? For him, it was his home. As he approached, he saw Corey. This teaching assistant glared a big smile on his face. "Welcome back, Professor," he exclaimed with a gravitas as he opened the doors. A gush of cold air blew out of it, carrying the indistinct chatter of his students. It grew louder and louder as he came closer. He could not deny the fact that he missed this place. In fact, everything about it. Yeah, he giggled to himself, even those smart asses of his student. He missed them all. But as he took a glimpse of the hall, it overwhelmed him. He stopped for the liminality. It has been nearly a year since his last lecture here. It was the same day he had his last major episode. He smiled to himself, recalling how things progressed so fast. Episodes, they called it episodes, he thought. And now, after everything, those episodes were just a process of my fucking emergence. He smirked, took a deep breath, and stepped in. He took a few steps further into the center aisle, and silence followed him as he went down towards his lecture table and his podium. As eerie as it felt, he tried to give an awkward smile. Dancing from left to right at his students, he can see different expressions of their faces. Some were eyed-wide amazed, like they were starstruck. Some with wonder, with curiosity. He liked that. Never stop questioning what's before you, he self-talked to himself. Others looked afraid, like he was going to defense mode, with his white light covering him and warped them into another dimension. But others, the skeptics, looked poker-faced, indifferent. That amazed him. After everything that has happened, still, others are left untroubled by the reality that nothing is what it seems, that nothing can be determined. Of all people, Victor de la Cruz founded his profession on one thought, that everything can be determined. And now he is faced by the truth that other than the fact that everything is determined, a certain glitch, a series of glitch, is a determined fact and can affect the start-determined truths. In short, nothing is what it seems at all. It felt the procession from the door to his podium took forever. Now he had a good view of all the hall from the standpoint he loved and missed, from the standpoint of his authority, his podium. Now regardless of what happened out there, outside Weber Hall, he's back. Really, really back to a certain determined reality he is most secured of. He tapped the mic to test it. It was too loud. It echoed too much. He looked at Corey, and after working for him for nearly 3 years, without words, the kid, as he would call his teaching assistant, knew exactly what he was telling him to do. As soon as he adjusted everything, the kid signaled back with a smile. He cleared his throat. For a few seconds, he wondered how he would start. In spite of the familiar place, the familiar people staring at him, all waiting for him to do his thing, this was not an ordinary school day. Not for him, not for his students either, after everything that has happened. Standing before them on his podium, he panned at each one of them. Most of them were familiar. Some he knew by name, others were new. He knew they were new because they were still smiling. Students who have been under him lectured not to smile already, learned to serve it for the punchlines. Room 519 was left silent for a long while. He cleared his throat again, took a deep breath, and looked around. He gave an awkward smile. To some, it looked more like a smirk. I don't really want to bullshit you, he started, because I know you know what happened to me and the others. Media never failed to inform you without sensationalizing the facts. What you saw and heard and learned, those are all true. He thought it was a good start. He loved how he sounded. His speaking voice, he called it, was just perfect. The way he remembered it to be. He got their attention, set them in context. He took a deep breath again. But, he interjected, interrupting the chatter that faded into silence again. I just want to take this moment to point out that the lesson we get from what has happened with what is going to happen today in the coming days is, he looked around sternly, looked them eye to eye. There's always something good in everything. He continued, enunciating every word like as if he was drilling into his students' minds to memorize it, to remember it. He stopped out of his podium, went to the center closer to his students. I'd like to tell you a story, our story, all of our story, by introducing to you the men who never thought would do something more than, would do something beyond their wildest imagination. He closed his eyes, took a deep breath, and when he opened it, white light glared from his eyes, and streaks of it emanated from him and covered him as he hovered before them. Lester took over. Let's begin with, so the characters here is, start there. You can open it now. You know, when you're a teacher, you have a bag of tricks. All right. Divina LaRue.
Divina?
Yeah.
What kind is that?
Born Ricardo Dominguez from Mexico, who migrated to Canada. Aspiring for a proper break in the music industry, but was forced to wear Divina LaRue by his abusive handler Benito. He became popular and was one of the highest paid drag queen performers in Toronto. Endowed with a red light, manifesting from his inner strength, passion, and courage for a better life, he emerged with immense strength and invincibility. And then orange, Scott Randeep. Your name. You can open it now, yours.
Devin, yours. Oh. Okay, I'll open it for you. It's your hand.
With an applied mathematics degree, bored of his corporate job, together with his friends, he started up his own online assisted shopping consultancy site, Randipity, using statistics and metadata. Endowed with the orange light manifesting his vibrance, happy disposition, and playfulness, displaying his eye for balance and precision, he emerged with a photographic reflex and ability to create weapons with his light. So that's red, orange. So the next one supposedly was yellow, but that's for Raymond. So David Mendoza. Then green, Jimmy's son, that's Henry. Then blue, you have Dr. Manesh Viraj, which is Marianne. You have never met Marianne actually, but it's one of my best friends. And then Derek, Bradley Chan, is Indigo.
Chan.
And then
All the names are awesome. What's your name?
and then Eric, who's also in Mexico
Scott
right now, is
Randeep.
Danny Trillo, who is Violet. And then
Scott Randeep.
the next one is Hussein, who is one of the spectrals, so Harwan Patel. And then Asif, you have Rick Singh.
Want to open it?
Yeah. So the partner of Scott Randeep, I don't know why I said this. And personally in business, who before Scott became a spectrum, was constantly exposed to his emerging powers without their knowledge even of Scott's power. Yet, was able to receive the power of agility and speed. Later on, when Scott completely emerged and was recruited as Spectrum, Rick thought reluctant at first, decided to join the Spectrals so that he can be with his partner. Next is here is Ellery. Yours is... Yeah, Jason Diaz. That one. He's cute.
Thank you. I like my body.
Alright, a promising. So Jason Diaz is a promising architect working in one of the firms in Toronto, who happened to be caught at the middle of a battle between the hostile forces in the Emergence. Leading to death, Jimmy's son, so it was the character of Henry, who at the time was not yet a member of the Spectrum but has emerged already, tried to heal him. Having been exposed to Jimmy Sun's elemental powers, he received the power of self-heal. He was later on recruited as a Spectral, working closely with his Spectrum Jimmy Sun. And the next one, the last one so far among the Spectrum and the Spectrals is Peter Young, which is Matt. So yeah, I don't know if you want to check out the other. I'll just.
He has one.
How's Matt?
Oh, Matt's check out.
You forgot.
Oh yeah.
I should be at the top of the list.
Alright, Max check out. I know because you already saw that.
Mm-hmm.
I have to
Oh
go
my
to
god, I
one note.
love it.
Wait, can I go to one note here?
Aww.
It's one of the directors.
Is that a police officer?
Yeah.
That should be mine.
Max Chekhov is the director of the CSIS, so that's the Intelligence of Canada, right? And
I fucking love this combination, Max and Chekhov.
yeah, and he doesn't have powers yet. I don't know, but as
I'm
of
still
now,
smoking
he's
here, right? Just
But-
chill.
Yeah, but as of now, he works in between that division which caters to the Spectrum. The Spectrum, actually, if you've noticed, are the colors of the rainbow, which is like an analogy to the rainbow that we have. The one thing that I thought, which I did not tell my brother yet, is that I wanted to give a superhero that is more LGBT in context. So yeah, if you notice, even the pictures always have
Divina LaRue.
All right. So that's
Joseph, I look like I'm from KGB here.